Okay, just wait a minute. So, hi guys, nice to meet you all. I will introduce myself and we will start. I just opened the camera so you will be able to see. And now we'll start the session. If you have any question, you can write on chat and my colleague Michal will take care of it, and she will inform me that there are questions and I will be happy to answer them. So hello everyone, let's start. Okay, so my name is Irit and I'm a customer success manager in Octopai for the past 4 years. In the previous role, I was a BI developer and a business analyst in a large telecom company. I developed in multiple tools and multiple ETL tools and multiple reporting tools. And I'm going to introduce you the Octopai solution for today. So just something I would like to share with you from my previous experience is while I was a BI developer, I was sometimes on call every few days for the critical path processes. And if they might fail overnight, I used to wake up and to check that everything is okay. And 1 month, I had like a process with salaries and incentives for the entire call center for the telecom company, and it failed overnight. It was the end of the month, and when everyone was asking, when will we be able to solve it? And I had only a few days, and I didn't know where to start and where the problem is. And I asked the colleagues, and no one knew where to start looking at it. And it kept on failing every night, and the salaries were at risk. And eventually, it took us 4 days to find the problem. It's just one field that changed from 3-digit to 4-digit with a cumulative number. And if I had Octopai back then, it would take me about 30 minutes and not 4 days to solve this issue. So if you can relate to my story, then you're in the right place, and I will be happy to tell you about Octopai. Okay, so let's just start the presentation. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our platform. Our platform is a SaaS platform for complete self-service adoption. It's open for the entire user, for the entire company. There isn't any limitation with the users. You get an Octopai URL with your metadata analyzed on this URL. It's an automated metadata management platform. We take information from different sources, from different source systems that usually comes from different vendors in the BI landscape, and from systems that usually do not talk to each other. And we take the metadata from all these systems and we connect them all together, and you can see this connection and you can find out your lineage in one place, in one Octopai URL. Another thing for our platform is the visibility and control of metadata scattered across the BI landscape. So if you have a database and you have a reporting system, you have an ETL, everything is collected into Octopai and we analyze it for you, and you can in one place just search for a search word or a phrase or a table and find out all the connections, all the lineage for this table. And GPS like navigation of your metadata, it's one of our platforms. We'll see it later on. It's called Discovery, and we'll talk about it later on. Quick and easy to use and to implement. It takes up to between 24 to 48 hours since from the minute we get the metadata that is extracted from your system till the minute you see the metadata in the Octopai URL. It takes between 24 to 48 hours. It's really, really fast. It's very intuitive and user-friendly, the URL itself and the application that takes the metadata and extracts the metadata. And there's no integration or changes requirements. We just connect to your metadata. We take only metadata and we see it in the Octopai URL.
Irit, I'll just stop you for a second. We're seeing the notes. It's not a full presentation mode, so if you can.
Okay, no problem. Let's do like this. Okay, better, Michal?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a full presentation.
Yeah,
but
it's because I'm using
better.
two
Thank
screens.
you.
So okay,
yeah,
great.
sure.
So let's see the supported systems. What we see here, those are the database sources, the source systems, and those are the ETL, the database, the analysis, and the reporting. Those are the different layers in the BI landscape. So you can see here the supported system that already exists in Octopai, like Informatica, SSIS, and Oracle, or even Azure Data Factory. And we're coming on soon with a talent extractor. And you can always keep track on what we have and what is new in our website. A database, those are the different databases that we support. Analysis services, we support cubes, we support tabular or Azure tabular, and of course, different reporting systems. So if you have any of the systems, then we will be able to provide you a metadata analysis. And the automated BI intelligence platform. So what is the main, let's say, what are the main models that we have in Octopai? We have 3 different ones. The first one is automated data discovery, is the ability, I call it Google the BI. You ask for a search word, you type it, and then you find out where it exists in the whole BI landscape. So if it exists in ETLs or databases or reporting systems, you can find out the calculation and where it exists. And automated data lineage XD is the lineage of the data, how it is connected, how you track information that's coming from a source system to the reporting system, or vice versa, from a reporting system to the specific ETL that loads the data, and how you track information for a specific column. And this is what we're going to see today in today's demo. And we have also a data catalog that provides information and documentation for all the, let's say, data items in your organization. It's also very valuable for the BI teams, for the IT teams, and also for different business teams. So keep in mind, those are the 3 main models that we have in Octopai. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about data lineage, the Data Lineage XD. We have 3 different lineages. It's cross-system lineage, is how you connect from a table to a stored procedure to an ETL. The inner system lineage is what's going on inside the report, from the physical layer to the presentation layer to the physical presentation layer, and inside the SSIS or the Informatica or any other ETL tool. And we have the end-to-end column lineage, how the lineage is for a certain column, if there is any calculation, and how this column travels along your BI landscape. And typical use case. Let's see, where do we use Octopai, or where I find my customer usually use Octopai on their day-to-day work, is when fixing reports. If you have a customer that is calling you, an internal customer that's calling and said, oh, this number is 0 in this report, or this report shows me the wrong information, then I need to figure out where the data is coming from and what failed overnight sometimes, and what somebody did some kind of change. And we need to fix it, and we need to find out where to look. So I start by searching for the report, digging into the report, and find out all the source tables I need to check. And another use case is the other way around. It's not the root cause analysis, it's just the impact analysis. It's when you start a change from a different ETL or from a new project you would like to implement, and you have an existing ETL, or you want to check for how if you're going to change something, how would it impact the rest of the tables and reports. This is the impact analysis. You choose an ETL process and you figure out where do you need to do the changes, which tables, stored procedure, and reports. So those are the main use cases. I will show you it later on. It's the root cause analysis is the same name as fixing reports, and impact analysis is from the ETL downstream. Okay, so let's move to the demo. Michal, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So this is the demo for Octopai. You see the main page for the lineage. If I open here the left bar, then we have different lineages. You see there's a lineage dashboard and the end-to-end lineage dashboard. This is for columns. You can switch between the lineages. This is the lineage space. You have also the discovery space, which I mentioned is Google the BI, and you have the BI catalog space. It's the data dictionary. So in here, in the right bar, we can see all the systems that are connected to Octopai that our customer extracted the metadata from. So we have the SSIS, the ADF, and the Informatica, and different databases, different analysis systems, and different report systems that are connected. I can choose to check or uncheck each and every one, so I can focus on the system that I want. We have the 3 circles. The left circle, the blue circle, is everything that is ETL, all the packages, all the stored procedures, all the maps, everything that does data manipulations. It will always be in blue, and you will see blue circles in Octopai. So everything is here. Everything in red and under the red circles are everything that is connected to actual database, views, tables, textual stored procedure, even files. So it's actually like an existing objects. And the green circle is everything that is connected to reports. I can see all the reports from the different systems. So I have this search bar, and I'm gonna start with the use case of root cause analysis. I'm an analyst, and I have a problem in the report, and I want to figure out what's loading the report and what is connected to the report. So I'm just searching for the name of the report. You can see all the names are here. Okay, so everything is filtered. I type top PR, and you can see the top product sales. If I want to figure out what is the system of this report, it is a Power BI report. And I have 2 buttons. I have the cross and the inner. I'm going to choose the cross. This will bring me to the cross system lineage. As I can see, the green circle is the actual report itself. I can see the little tag shows me where I started this lineage, and I can see the different layer. This is the reporting layer, and this is everything that is connected to database objects. So I can see the red objects that are here, and everything that is blue is in ETL. So I see those tables are connected to different source systems, and those are the immediate layers. But I can drill on and on to see the sources. So this is a DWH, but it's probably connected to an STG and to an MRR. And I can keep on drilling backwards. As you can see, there's like a gray circle or half circles that indicates that I have more to expand. So every time you see a gray circle, you know that you can expand more and see more of the lineage itself. But this is just tells me where I am inside the BI landscape and where I need to check or what is connected. We can, of course, copy it to URL or just export it to CSV or even a PNG and save it in our documentation. But sometimes we need to drill inside what's going on in the report or inside what's going on this SSIS or Informatica processes. So what we have here is the ability, we have this eye that tells me the name of the reports, the same information, but I have this button that drills down directly into the report itself. So now I'm seeing what's inside the report. If I open the legend, I can see the physical layer, the semantic layer, and the presentation layer. So there are 2 objects in the presentation layer. I can click on product ID, and I can figure out where it is coming from. If there is any kind of manipulation, I would have seen it here, but I see the product ID is coming from the DWH product. And if I would show you how it looks in the Power BI, I'll just open the Power BI. This is my Power BI. You can see we have the 2 fact sales. Those are the 2 object, 2 queries in the presentation layer. And I have the product ID over here. It's being used in one of these. That's why it appears. And I can see directly where it's coming from. I don't have to open the Power BI. Sometimes I don't have the privileges to see it and to see where it's coming from and what are data manipulation. I can directly see it from Octopai. So I don't have to open the Power BI and try to figure out what is the source for this column. Just open up Octopai and immediately I figure out that this is the source table. And if I want to examine it a little bit more, then I can move to the WH, it was the product. And now I want to see how the data is flowing inside, for example, the SSIS. So I can click on the little plus here. It will take me directly to the exact package or all the different packages that loads this table inside the SSIS. So I click on this one, and if I click on drill, it will immediately take me inside the SSIS. I can just, I'm searching for product ID. and it tells me this is the target table, the WH DIM product, and these are all the manipulations that it's going through in the way inside the SSIS, and I can directly see the source table. STG DIM product, I can double click, I see the scheme, I see the database and the component name. If I want to move backwards, then I can just click here and it takes me back to all the places where this table is actually a target. You can just click on drill. And I'm moving and I'm investigating a little more this product ID column. Of course, I can search, I can copy the URL, and I can save it as pictures and export it to Excel. But this is the STG, and if there's any kind of name change or any kind of manipulation or calculation, you will be able to see it on screen. And I can just keep on drilling backwards, or if I want to, I can click on forward. It will take me to all the places where this object, MRR product, is actually a source. So this is like the inner system lineage. But we also allows you to investigate a specific column. If you like to focus on product ID, for example, I can just click on the product ID, the three dots here, and I can click on end-to-end column lineage. This will take me to the same lineage, but on a column level. I can see here this little icon tells me I came from product ID in MRR product, and I will open the legend, and you will be able to see that there is an ETL process. It's in the blue circle. Everything that is database is in the red circle. So I can see that this column is coming from this table, and I can track the whole process along the way just by clicking on the end-to-end column lineage. Those are the analysis, and those are the different reports. So if there is any kind of name change or name manipulation, I will be able to see it here. Just tracks all the places where I use this specific column. So this is the end-to-end column lineage, and we have the inner system lineage where we saw this lineage, and we have the cross-system lineage over here. This was a use case for root cause analysis, but if I use the same example, and I would like to show you the impact analysis, where I'm starting from an ETL process, for example, and I want to see everything that is connected to this ETL. So I will choose this load DWH, and I can click here, there's lineage ETL. It will create me a complete new lineage for this object. Everything you see here that is red are database objects. The yellow ones are tabular tables. You can see the tag over here. Those are DIM because they're in cubes, there are dimensions and there are measure groups. And you can see the layer of the different reports that are actually connected to low DWH. So you need to be very careful. If you change something over here, all the objects on screen might be impacted from this change. And if I want to see something inside the SSIS, that's quite difficult to see what's going on inside the SSIS, or a column is being transformed inside an SSIS. So I click on package, and I can see what's going on inside the SSIS. Can just click on the container view and drill down on and on to see what's going on inside this SSIS. We can see over here the SSIS itself. It's the same SSIS, it's called low DWH. We have the category, we have the DIM product and the DIM customer, but we can't see actually what's going on and how a specific column is being manipulated inside this SSIS. Just double click and open each object, and it's difficult to track. And here in Octopai, we open everything for you and we show it up as a map, as a logical map. And it's easy to track and to see what's the SSIS. So these are the two main use cases I wanted to share with you regarding the lineage in Octopai. Another thing is, let me click on home. As if I want to go back and just search for the WH from here, then also I will be able to click load DWH. I have the same information. I click on the eye and I have the inner and the cross. I will click on the cross. It will bring me to the same place from the main screen. And here I would like to focus on views and stored procedure, because also views and stored procedure have different kind of data manipulation. So we can drill into a view. Sometimes you have a very long view with 200 rows, and it's difficult to figure out where a certain output column comes from. And here we have the text of this view, so you don't have to go back to the SQL Server or to the Oracle database. And you can track that first name is coming from the table, the WHDM customer. So it also helps you a lot with understanding what's going on inside stored procedure or inside views, for example. And let's go back to home. Another nice thing that we have is the discovery model. A discovery model, as I mentioned before, we'll see it shortly, is just Googling the BI. So I'm just searching for a search word. And all the systems that are connected to this search word will appear on screen. It just takes a while to search the whole systems that are connected to Octopai. Okay, we can see a list of all the system. Every button that is highlighted in green means that we have a result that is connected to it. And everything here that is white or gray, I don't know if you can see it, that means that we haven't found any results. So I have the product as table sources or field sources inside the Informatica. If I click on it, I can see all the workflows, maps, and sessions that has the table that has the word product in it. If I just try to move it a little bit, you will be able to see it. And we have, for example, lookup and overrides. Sometimes you search and you miss an override. And here you can find out all the places where the word product exists. And if I take you to a database, for example, I can see different columns and I can see the object or the column name product. I'll just show more values. And if you have, for example, product ID with different data types, this also helps you to find out if there's any kind of change in data types and to track all the columns inside a database. And also, of course, regarding reporting system, for examples, if you want to see if a certain columns exist in Power BI, we have model by columns. You can see the columns, and if you have a query content or a calculation for it, you will be able to see it here. So this is the discovery model, just a quick review, but most of our demo today is for the lineage model. Okay, guys, I will be happy to answer some questions. Michal, do you want to share questions with me?
Sure, we have some really great questions. Let's start. What kind of permissions are required on each system in order to have this level of access?
Okay, it's a great question. It depends on the system. We have a prerequisite document for each system. It's usually a reader permission just to read the format of the tables or the maps. So for each system, it's kind of different because there are different vendors that different vendors requires different things.
Okay, what is the architecture?
The architecture, okay. What we do is we send a client to your servers. We do not connect directly to your servers. You install the client in one of the servers. The clients extract the metadata according to your needs. XML files are created behind the scenes. You can open the XML files, you can check it. And once the XML files are ready, you upload it to the Octopai portal, a secured portal, and then we can start the analysis. This is the entire architecture.
Great. I also shared the how it works page from our website, just so you see. Okay, let's continue. Is ThoughtSpot self-service BI tool also covered?
Sorry, I wasn't able to hear you.
ThoughtSpot self-service BI tool also covered?
Not sure I'm familiar with that. Can you write it for me? But if I'm not familiar, it's probably not covered for the moment.
Yeah,
you can always check our website. No.
No. Well, the questions are coming in, so let me just go back to the first question. Does the Octopai tool only extract metadata from BI, or can it be used for all data systems?
It depends on the systems. You can check with me later on or in our website the different systems we extract metadata from. It really depends on the system.
Do people compare you to Alation?
Alation is different because Alation is like data catalog and it takes time. And Alation, you need to you don't have the ability to extract metadata and to inject it to Alation automatically. You need to actually sit down and write things and inject things and enter it by yourself. We have a great advantage. We take the metadata and we analyze it for you. But Alation does not have data lineage, so it's different.
Do you support ELT tools like Matillion or Fivetran?
At the moment, we do not support these tools.
Another question. I don't see Looker yet. Yes, that's also a system we don't support. Is Denodo on your roadmap?
Yes, it is on our roadmap.
Lineage backend is NEO4J.
I'm sorry. I didn't understand what you were asking.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with this, so ask the person. Can you elaborate? Does this support Spark or Databricks for later data lineage? That's another system.
It will support, and Databricks is in our roadmap.
Yeah. Will it support AWS Glue / metadata?
It will support AWS actually quite soon. I don't have an exact date that it'll support. It's something that we're about to release later on. I don't know if this year or early next year, but it is going to be supported.
How does the product stitch lineage between the different tools and technologies? How does it understand, for example, that the data is written to a database by one ETL tool and then read it from this database by another ETL, especially between on-prem and cloud technologies?
Okay, that's a great
question. It's a great question.
Yeah, and it's actually the magic that we do. We know how to analyze this information because we take the metadata, and the metadata connects to target tables or source tables, and we connect those source tables to the database, and then different ETL tools or take the same table by parameters or different connections. So we do support parameters in different ETL tools. So it really helps in understanding the source table or target tables.
Do you ingest the metadata into Octopai engine, or it resides in company's ecosystem?
It's not like it's completely separated, because you have the client sitting on your server that extracting the metadata, and you send the metadata to us to analyze. So we do not inject anything to your system. It's just a SAS and a different URL.
Are you able to add additional metadata to Octopai, for example, description of a report or a column of a table?
Okay, that's also a great question because we have the BI catalog. We haven't seen it today, but in the BI catalog, we take all the metadata items we analyzed for you, and we share it with the BI catalogs, and you can choose a certain data item and write a description, a calculation, a technical description. This data item can have a data owner or a data steward that you can ask questions directly from Octopai. So it is possible.
Great. Do you support ADLS Databricks? I believe we already answered it. It's on our roadmap. You mentioned client. Do you install a client per data store?
We install one client per customer, and this client, I can share with you how the client looks like. No problem. Looks like something like this. And you choose the system you would like to connect. For example, if I'm choosing Informatica, I have the connection name, I have the server, I have the username and password for the Informatica. And then I click on next and I test the connection and I extract the metadata. So it's just one client that connects to different metadata sources.
How is Octopai licensed for production and dev environments?
Okay, that's also a very nice question because I have different customers that have 3 different systems that are separated from each other for QA, for production, and for dev. So you can have 3 different URLs according to your needs. And also I have different customers that wanted everything in one place. And they know that when they enter Octopai, they need to choose the right sources. So they have SSIS for dev, for QA, and for production. So they can choose only one of them or 2 of them. And it saves your preferences for your next time, for your next entrance.
The same person was asking about the costs and if it's a SaaS service or on-prem. So I believe we already showed that it's a SaaS service. Yes, Erit, go ahead, sorry.
No, it is a SaaS. Nothing is on-prem. It's completely on cloud.
And cost depending on the number of sources. We'll be happy to answer some questions on a separate call regarding costs or by email. Are you running a graph database under the covers?
I'm wondering, kind of something like this, but I'll keep it to Octopai. I'll keep this information to Octopai.
How does the tool track changes, like changes to DB objects, etc.?
Okay, the tool for the moment analyze everything from the beginning. Every time you extract the metadata, we do not track changes. We just analyze everything. We have another model that will be out soon that will be a versioning model that will tell you with the pop-ups what's new, and you need to approve that you saw the changes, and you will be able to track the different changes between different weeks of what's happening in your ETL, reporting, and databases.
Is the source system connections are real-time or scheduled basis to extract the metadata?
We support a weekly refresh. So they're scheduled usually on the weekend, on Friday nights or Saturday mornings to extract the metadata. It takes between 24 to 48 hours to analyze it, so it will be ready on Monday morning.
Thank you. And thank you for providing information. So NEO4J is a graph database. So the question was, is the back end NE?
It's the same question, and we'll keep it to ourselves. Yeah.
Could you please show the slide again where it tells which systems are currently supported?
Yes.
Yes. And you are, I also, I believe in the chat, I also added the link to our website. Okay, so on our website, we update the systems that we add, and obviously we send announcements. So you're welcome to look at our website. How is the tool able to infer transformations?
Sorry?
How is the tool able to infer transformations?
Not sure I completely understand the question. Maybe the person who wrote it can elaborate a little bit more.
Okay. Can we find data lineage based on tables and Python code as well?
For tables, yes, but Python code at the moment, not, because you can have Python code search under discovery. As you see in the latest model I showed, is the discovery is like the Google API, so you can see and you can search for Python codes over there.
What type of permission are used here? It's the same. It's the number. It's the second question of the that was talking about Python code and tables. Maybe I'm not sure I understood. Are you able to infer lineage if the names like customer, name, custom men?
Are we able to connect the lineage? We do see name manipulations, and we are able to see lineage for different columns. If it is connected in your systems, then we will be able to show it for you.
Can we do custom tagging?
Custom tagging. We can add custom changes. We can add custom objects. I can add red circles, or you can create your own red circles with your own tagging. But change a tag for a table is not something that we can change. If it's a table, it will be tagged T. In the data catalog, we have the tagging option where you can decide if it's a data items you would like to tag in any way you want.
Does Octopai support Python, PySpark? I believe we already answered that it's on our roadmap, right? Did you say it has change reports showing if any logic changed for a field or new changed lineage?
It's the same question as before. We have a model that's coming later on this year that's called versioning. It will support the ability to see the different changes.
How does the tool know derived column sales is made of column A plus B plus C from different tables?
This is what exactly what we're doing. If you have a derived table or derived column, we separate the source columns or the source tables for this column, and we will be able to see it because it's part of the metadata.
What kind of permissions are required on each system in order to have this level of access?
We have prerequisites for different systems. Each system requires different permissions. If you're interested, you can approach Michal, and we can send you the different prerequisites for each system.
How does it integrate with data governance vendors like Calibra, Elation, and IBM?
It depends. If you want to discuss it a little bit further, then we can have a separate meeting and we will tell you how it's been done with different customers. It depends on how you implemented Calibra or Elation.
If the transformation is embedded in stored procedure, how will you be able to derive lineage?
We parse the stored procedure text and we create lineage for stored procedures as well.
And I think we have one more question in the chat. Does Octopai read SQL files to perform lineage? And I believe we already answered that.
We can read SQL files, yes.
Okay, I think we covered everything. Thank you so
Okay.
much for all the great questions, everyone. And you're welcome
Thank you guys for joining us.
Email us to ask more questions. We'll be glad to provide more information offline. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.